Hi YouTube! Welcome to my kitchen. I want to start a little cooking series. The series is going to be a little bit interesting because I'm 24 years old. My laundry's in the back. Do you hear that? Maybe this wasn't the best time to do this. And I've been learning how to cook on my own for the past like 3 or 4 years. So if you are in your 20s, if you are in college, if you are even in your late teens or whatever, even if you're a grown adult and you don't know how to cook that many things, I'm still learning as well. And I think I found a system that works the best in order to create variety. Oh my God, my cat. In order to create variety in everyday meals, for me, I think it's really important that if you know how to cook like chicken, steak, and ground beef, literally just those three, there are so many things that you can make with just those three, with rice, pasta, adding broths, adding heavy cream, adding vegetables, adding potatoes, whatever your heart desires, right? You can really rotate a lot of that and use simple ingredients to make things that are actually really good. And it's always better to have a home cooked meal, right? I have some chicken in here that was frozen and it's been thawed out, so it's like leaking some juices, which is disgusting. Right now, I don't have like typical ingredients that I would normally have. So we're gonna kind of come up with a little concoction of our own, if you will, using whatever ingredients we have here. So let's get started. The first step is deciding if I want, obviously we're using chicken, but if I want the base of the meal to be rice or pasta, that's usually my first step. I always crave pasta, so that's usually my go-to. And if I'm out of pasta, I'll usually go for rice. But I need to see how much beef broth and heavy whipping cream I have, because that's gonna be like the sauce that we're gonna make. This sounds like we have at least a cup, which is fine. And same with this. They both have a decent amount. Also gonna use a golden onion. I know it's in plastic. That's probably not good. I try to do glass most of the time, but this shape doesn't really fit in glass. Do we see my cat? You can't have that. That's gonna give you a tummy ache. My cat loves to join me when I'm cooking, so you might see him pop up a little bit. My favorite pots and pans are the carotte. It looks like carotte. I don't know, but they have like removable handles, which I love. And it comes with a set of like a bunch of them. It comes with lids. This one's really gross and dirty, but they look like this. They're just beige. You literally take these and you clip it on, and then it functions as a pan. Or when you're done with it and you want to serve your food, if you're having people over, if it's a group thing, you can take this off and put this, you know, on the counter on top of a little hot pad, and you can serve it out of a cute bowl. We're gonna start by putting these on the stove, obviously. Okay, we prepped some golden onion. I just diced it into these little small pieces. We also prepped chicken. These are sliced into like longer strips, but I think I'm gonna cut them a little smaller to, you know, have a little bit more, or have it look like a little bit more. And now we're gonna season them and put it in the pan. And we're gonna add some olive oil. We're gonna add onion powder, paprika. Oh, that was a little lot. Okay, garlic powder. And we're just gonna add some salt and pepper. So now we have all the seasoning, and we're just gonna mix with our hands. We're just gonna keep mixing until everything is like evenly coated, right? We're gonna add the chicken. And once I put them in the pan, I like to add a little more olive oil, just so that they don't stick to the pan and start like dripping. We also have this pot that is on high with water and olive oil. We're gonna add adobo seasoning to the water as it's boiling and cooking the noodles. It'll give everything like a little extra flavor. This is what the chicken's looking like. I like to let one side cook all the way and then flip it. Kind of just like, you know, mix everything and flip the pieces that need it. The water's starting to boil here, so we're gonna wait a little bit and then add the noodles. I like to at least wait till the chicken's done to add the noodles, because for most of my pasta I use like these wide egg noodles and they only take 7 minutes to cook all the way. So now that all the chicken is cooked on the outside on both sides, I'm gonna add in the onion so that they can cook together. Okay, since we're about to remove the chicken and the onion, we're gonna add in the noodles. Oh, to our boiling pot. Typically I like to add a lot more noodles, but today we're working with what we have. So it's 3:33, which is perfect. So in 7 minutes they'll be done. So at 3:40, they'll be ready to strain. I turned the heat up to medium so everything can get a little crispy. And since the chicken is in smaller pieces, it usually cooks through quicker. But I always like to find the biggest or like thickest piece, stab it through the middle to make sure that there's no pink. Okay, we're gonna remove this into a Tupperware while we make the broth and the sauce. We're gonna put the lid on to keep it warm. And to make our sauce, we're gonna start with beef broth. Usually I would prefer chicken broth since I'm using chicken, but you can honestly use either one. We're just gonna eyeball it, to be honest. And then for heavy whipping cream, this we're gonna use just to thicken everything a little bit. I also just eyeball this. It kind of looks like coffee with creamer, but you're just gonna mix everything together. See, it's really not that much liquid, but it definitely does make a difference. Now we're gonna season this sauce broth with the same seasonings that we did for the chicken. Onion powder, paprika, garlic powder, black pepper, some salt. In the sauce, I like to add parsley flakes. Whoa, that was kind of a lot. We're gonna turn this heat up a little bit. I also forgot that we were gonna add in some cheese just to also thicken it up a little bit. You can see it's like bubbling over here. Look at the cheese, definitely thickens it. I'm gonna mix that all together. For the last minute that we let this sit, we're gonna add the chicken back in. And now we'll add it into our sauce. Oh, this is still on high. Put it on low so it doesn't burn. But we're gonna add this in and give it a good mix so everything gets coated. Here we have the final result. I love to use these plate bowl things for pasta or for rice. It's literally the perfect amount. So let's try. Wow. So good. Now you just elevated your chicken and pasta recipe. You can definitely elevate it even more than what I did. This is like still pretty basic in my opinion, but it still is like the perfect comfort meal with simple everyday ingredients that most people already have in their fridge. So let me know if you try it out, if you have any recommendations for other things I should make or try, and I'll see you in the next cooking video. Bye!